another. You have the people of the first era resentful of the new guys in town, the new women in town. I understand that. It's unfortunate, but it's probably inevitable. But let's be clear, exopolitics stands on the shoulders of ufology. Without them, we couldn't do what we're doing. The work still goes on. It's important, totally supported. Right? I regret the attacks that we're getting from many old guard ufologists. It's unfortunate. And hopefully it will subside in time, and I think it will. The ghettoization, tolerance, recognition, witnesses, these are some of the concepts in exopolitics, which I can go into great length on this period. The intellectual ghettoization is something I talk about a lot. It is one of the formal mechanisms of the truth embargo in which the government isolates it. It ridicules it, separates it, in a sense condemns it, and once it has done that, it has nullified it. And they've created an intellectual ghetto, right? The walls are made of ridicule. And if anybody comes along, an astronaut, a Pulitzer Prize-winning psychiatrist, the moment they utter the words UFO or ET, into the intellectual ghetto wall. And that's it. They're nullified. If your university wants to take you down, you got a green light. That's what they did to Leo Sprinkle. He engaged the ET abduction issue and they cashiered him. John Mack, they tried to destroy him. His death was an accident, to be clear. Intellectual ghettoization is a standard Machiavellian policy of governments going back thousands of years. It is one of the most effective and ugliest of all government policies. I encourage all of you to commit yourself to a world, and particularly a nation, from this point forward, probably from disclosure forward, that intellectual ghettoization will never, ever be a policy of the state. Ever again. And anywhere else for that matter. It can't be tolerated. And it's happening all the time. It still goes on because it works so well. If you watch the news and you see people trying to challenge essentially the consensus reality, and you see the ridicule begin. If the issue is 911, and you are dissatisfied with the explanations or the quality of the investigation, very soon you're called truthers. Not investigators, not citizens, you're truthers. Right? And when you come on shows like, Olbermann or Riley, you're ridiculed, you're laughed at, you're insulted, even if you've got 3 PhDs. This happens all the time. We see it all the time. We tolerate it. It's got to stop, folks. Because there's probably no more corruptive and damaging policy that a state can do than the intellectual ghettoization of people. And when you allow them to intellectually ghettoize you, in time they will put you in a real ghetto with real walls, with guards on those walls, and if you try to leave, they will shoot you. They do this all the time. We need to commit ourselves to a world where that can't happen. Tolerance is absolutely essential as we move forward into this new era. Recognition is critical. The people in the advanced, evolving groups need to recognize each other because the mainstream is not going to. You've got to build up your self-esteem. You have to give each other support, and you need to do it in an open way. And then the evolution of witnesses is critical. Witnesses, whistleblowers, I don't like that term. Witnesses, essentially, what are they? Well, they were Jesus' disciples. They were the followers of Buddha. They are witnesses to events and times. They come forward, they tell their stories accumulated, they become history. We are built on witness testimony. A lot more than we're built on the findings of a scientist in a basement lab that sees something interesting in a particular spectrum, and the next thing you know, there's a new little law of physics. We are built on witness testimony. Our churches, even our businesses, are intellectual reality. When you start attacking the witnesses, when you throw them in the ghettos, when you threaten them, when you undermine them, essentially you're saying, don't come forward, we don't want to hear your story, shut up. We want to live in a world free of witnesses, free of stories. That's happening, folks. If you watch, it's happening. There are 2 threads going on in our culture right now. One is sit down and shut up, I don't want to hear what you have to say, and the other is please come forward and tell us what you know. And the fate of human society lies in which of these threads is going to Now,